I thought you'd like him more if he spoke a little less. So I fixed him. I like it.
Did you know that some shocking scenes had to be cut from the movie Coraline and the Secret World? Like when Coraline accidentally drops a spider, which was among the roses she found in the garden of the Pink Palace, into her mother's coffee mug.
Whitey, he's too psycho to be friends with.
I'm sure you'll meet some great kids when you start school here.
The most astonishing detail of this scene is that neither of them noticed it. Then the spider calmly walks out of the mug and ends up crawling over a piece of paper that Coraline was going to use to draw, given to her by her mother to keep her from bothering her work. Seriously, that coffee must have been really cold. The final scene turned out like this.
Here, draw a picture or something.
The spider scene is bizarrely funny because we can see how the spider actually ended up inside the mug and unfortunately got cut from the final edit of the movie. But it wasn't the only one. We'll show you 10 more scenes that ended up being deleted from the movie Coraline and the Secret World. Coraline and the Other World, Wybie's Kiss. The origin of this scene is controversial and may not be 100% original to the movie, but it's worth mentioning because if it was indeed produced, it's very cool. When Coraline is trapped inside the mirror by her other mother, she meets the ghosts of the 3 children that the half-monster, half-witch creature had captured and deceived before Coraline appeared, across generations, including one of them being Wybie's great-grandaunt.
She said that she loved us, but she locked us here and ate up our lives.
Throughout the movie, very strange things start happening in this other world where the other mother had the power to create anything, like bug furniture and even bring inanimate objects to life, like the other father made out of a pumpkin. But the strangest thing that happens is that the witch's own creations end up helping Coraline, like the other father himself, who hands her one of the ghost eyes. However, among the most unexpected help that happened, undoubtedly, was the other world Wybie rescuing Coraline from the mirror person. We see that he was mistreated by the other mother, since she had sewn his mouth shut, making him smile all the time. And when he shows her the way out, in a brief moment in the deleted scene, Coraline gives a quick kiss to the other version of Wybie. If it's indeed real, it must have been removed to avoid influencing kids to do that. But witches that eat kids? No problem. Silence for the doll. Another deleted scene from the movie happens when Coraline's parents and she are gathered in the kitchen to eat some weird thing her dad had cooked. During the scene, the protagonist's parents talk about a glitch that occurred on her dad's computer, and her mom suggests that he should buy a laptop to avoid the risk of losing all his work. He mentions having a problem with the computer spell checker and that it might have a virus. The detail is that in reality, it's all Coraline's fault, and she knows it. For this reason, she asks the doll for silence because they are the only two who know what she did wrong. Probably, this scene was cut from the movie to reduce its duration, even though it turned out quite cool and funny.
My computer's fine, just a dang power outage from the storm.
I can't believe you didn't back up your files.
Black screen computer. A scene associated with the spider one also got cut. In fact, it would have happened right before Coraline arrived with the practically rotten roses and gave them to her mother. In it, we see Coraline's mother working on her laptop, but even though she's typing, the computer screen is completely black, indicating that it was turned off. Of course, this happened because, since the scene got deleted, the production team thought there was no need to simulate a turned-on laptop screen. Right after that, we see her continuing to work on the computer, and we can notice a light reflecting on her face, as it really happens with laptops that are on and have their screens illuminated.
Coraline, you're dripping all over the floor.
Black hair. This part that was also deleted from the movie is actually another small dialogue from Coraline. It happens when Wybie knocks on her door after she runs away to her world and can't find her parents. So Wybie shows up to ask her to return the doll he had given her and mentions that the doll actually belonged to his grandmother's sister, but because it looked like Coraline, he wanted to give it to her. At this moment, Coraline has a realization that his grandmother's missing sister was actually one of the children who had fallen victim to the other mother. So she asks if the missing girl had black hair. So this line ended up being cut, and you can understand why, as it's really not possible to see the hair color of a ghost, and also because black and white photos don't give you an idea of someone's hair color, as the name suggests. The photo is black and white. The scene ended up like this.
Grandma's missing sister. I think I just met her. Come on.
Two naughty ones. After Coraline enters the kitchen with the semi-dead roses and suggests to her mother to put them in her gardening catalog, a small scene was cut from the final movie edit. While in the version we watched, Coraline is already at the sink washing the roses. In the deleted version, it's a bit longer. Coraline's mother is giving that annoying look we see several times throughout the movie, pointing at the sink as if she's telling her daughter to go there. This scene was cut for some reason. We can even see that not all the effects were applied to it, since there's a line on Coraline's mother's forehead in this version, and we see Coraline sticking her tongue out at her mother, which got cut. And that's fair to avoid kids imitating such behavior. Origin of the sauce on the shirt. The presence of red sauce on Coraline's dad's shirt in one of the final scenes of the movie when she finally rescues them is well known. This is because, in reality, this scene shouldn't have been at the end of the movie, but rather at the beginning, right after dinner. For this reason, there was sauce on Coraline's dad's shirt in the alternative scene. They had probably eaten the wrap with ketchup and mustard that Coraline's mom had suggested, not the, in quotes, slime that her dad had made. In fact, the scene starts with him letting out a huge burp that clearly bothers Coraline's mom. The deleted scene also featured Coraline's mother throwing the octopus at her dad's face because he called the meal she prepared pizza in a slightly sarcastic tone. And it's right at that point where the deleted scene ends that the scene we see at the end of the movie begins, where he pretends that the octopus is attacking his face. And from there, we have the scene we normally see at the end of the movie. The film's production claimed they decided to move the scene because the two scenes would be too similar in the end, so they decided to just remove the burp, the parts with Coraline's mom, and perhaps unintentionally left the ketchup stain, which at that point in the movie didn't make much sense but was there.
Ew, gross-gusting.
Charlie?
Oh, pardon me for enjoying my food, but that pizza was delicious.
Warning from the children. After finally managing to free the souls and spirits of the children who had been trapped in the witch's mirror world for decades, or perhaps even longer, after recovering the ghost's eyes, they take on an angelic form with halos and angel wings, indicating that they will go to heaven after this. In the deleted scene, we see one of the girls warning that the witch was still alive, and that she would still try to take Coraline's life, just as she had done with them. Which actually makes sense, because she would still need the soul of a living child anyway. Coraline then takes a deep breath and says it's not fair. The scene may have been removed to shorten the movie, but the truth is, if it had been kept, it's very likely that some groups would claim it encouraged harming people or something like that. Post-credit scene. What almost no one knows is that after the end of the Coraline movie, there's a scene that was cut by the decision of the author of the book that inspired the film, the acclaimed Neil Gaiman, in collaboration with the film's director, Henry Selick, who thought it was irrelevant. I'm sure that if it were today, they would keep it, as it has practically become a practice to have post-credit scenes at the end of movies. The scene in question is a highly elaborated mouse dance that makes a clear reference to the rats created by Mr. Bobinski. The detail is that the movie was made in stop motion, which is an extremely slow and time-consuming process because it involves shooting clay figures frame by frame to create sequences and then have them appear to move animatedly. So, just to give you an idea, this final post-credit scene called The Mouse's Dance took 66 days to complete, only to be deleted afterward. Miss Forcible's glasses. This deleted scene is quite simple and quick, and wouldn't really make any difference in the film sequence. In it, we see Miss Forcible at the bottom of the stairs leading to the apartment of the two friends, wearing a robe, talking a bit, and taking her blue glasses out from between her bosom to try to see better. The director decided to remove it to maintain the flow of the film and to shorten its duration as well. Rug. And finally, there's also a quick scene where Coraline climbs the stairs and jumps on the rug to create a ripple, but as soon as she climbs, the small ripple on the rug reappears. The director stated that the scene was cut for the same reasons as the Miss Forcible and her glasses scene, to not disrupt the film's dynamics and to maintain its fluidity. These were the deleted scenes we brought to you today. But your journey doesn't have to end here, so we've selected these two super cool videos for you to choose from and watch. This first one is simply fantastic. I'd watch it first if I were you.